y'all? You know, back with it. Another one of those type videos and stuff. So, getting straight into it, these type discussion videos, I don't want to have a script for it. It's just coming from a genuine place of thought and how I feel, you know, people can relate to this. So, why aren't you consistent, my fault. Why aren't you consistent? And you feel like you can't lock into certain things you want to lock into. um it's you find it harder. You start comparing yourself to everybody else in the world except for worrying about yourself. And it really comes from a place of self-doubt. You see everybody else progress, and you're like, damn, bro, like, how can you start thinking, like, how can they progress and they get all the blessings, but it seems like I'm getting nowhere and stuff. Well, you probably heard this before, but it's really about, waiting your turn. You so keep doing what you're doing right now, and you'll potentially get there and stuff. If you, it is possible for you to get there in general. I'm not even going to say potentially. It is possible for you to get to where you want to be. If you really just focus on being consistent and staying to yourself and not be so worried about what everybody else is doing and stuff. I too struggle, with this myself and stuff. And this isn't so much of a how to get more. No, speaking from like a guru, like, headspace, or no, bro. Like, if you really want what you say you want, you will put down the time, and you have to put down the time. It's not an option to get to where you want to be. You gotta manifest it too. I'm not even trying to get spiritual or nothing, but you have to manifest that, and the universe will literally give it to you. Like, and you find yourself like, yo, why am I more susceptible to things happening to me and everybody else gets left off the hook? You're responsible, for what you do and what you put out. The energy that you put out, the energy that you get back and stuff. You're responsible for that, that transaction. Like, if you put in the energy and time to work and stuff on what you want to be good at and stuff, it could be applied to a game. It can be applied to, you working out and stuff. You're gonna get those results back, whether you were lazy about it or if you put in hard work. You're gonna get that energy back no matter what. It's just facts. I would suggest, really practicing. Okay, let me make a schedule for myself. Let me like really, like, trying to get a habit. Okay, wake up, do this, that, and the third, and get right to it. Let me wake up, and then if you have other things going, at least make the time for it. Nigga, if you can sit down and make time to scroll on your phone or talk to somebody for hours and stuff, that time can be used into what you want to do. You know, we're too focused on everybody else. We're too focused on, with what's going on and stuff other than our lives, that we don't focus on our life. We don't focus on our life, and we put too much time in that everything we don't need to put time into. I'm myself a victim of this. I was worried about making sure everybody else was good. Everything. Like, I was focusing on, yo, what's going on over here, what's going on over there, and it was to a point where I wasn't living my life at all. You see a lot of people say, like, lock in and stuff, and it's harder. It's easier said than done. It has to be a balance of, okay, I'm gonna put in the time, but I'm gonna also take time to enjoy what I have now. You know, so consistency, excuse me, consistency is really an enemy to a lot of us, and it's also a friend to a lot of us. You know, like, you see it time and time again where ill consistency or healthy consistency gets a person. Where the path that it takes a person down, like, either they're consistently bad at something, like, or doing bad and putting out bad energy, that it just becomes the person that they are, you know. Or, they take time to health, like, to be consistently healthy about the work that they put into something, whether that be themselves, their personality and stuff, that you see it. The energy comes back, So it can be either good or bad and stuff. And, you don't want to find yourself, you know, being comfortable and settling with not being consistent at all and just doing nothing. You want to, you know, be able to do something and then deserve to be like, you know what? Like, let me take the day to, like, reset, live for me, take care of what I need to take care of and enjoy, what I have around. You don't want to get into, like, that mode of, like, you're like if you don't work, then your time is done. Your time is wasted. Like, bro, if you got to listen to your body, bro. If you're not feeling well, and if your mental's not good, take that time that you need to step away from shit. Step away, to reset and really focus on gathering, yourself back to be like, okay, now that I'm healthy, let's go back to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta enjoy the life. You gotta see the sun at times, or you gotta rest and let your body recuperate because our bodies do talk to us. So really, really focus on balancing that out, knowing when it's time to attack, and then knowing when it's time to rest. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always too much in everything. If you attack, and you don't rest, it's going to show in the long run. It's going to show in the long run. Start burning yourself out. That's what, yeah, I found the word. You start burning yourself out. But then, you rest, you rest, you rest, you rest, you rest. You'll never get to see the potential that you truly have in becoming the person that you want to become one day. You know what I'm saying? That you're working towards to become. So you really have to find that schedule and find that balance of, all right, you know, how can I be consistent, but also, you know, take the time that I need to live, to actually live and stuff. But that was it. Uh, Mind you, it's 6 a.m. going on 7. I hope that really helped whoever's watching and stuff. And nobody's watching, this could help me, you know. Um, really focus on balancing that out, you know, and work around your schedule because everybody's schedule is different. Work around your schedule to do what you love, do what you want to do, work towards what you want to. And while you're working towards that rest time, take that rest time, as a way to, like, research, or, you're watching something, just watch a movie, take your mind off of it. And then, when it's time to attack, build that schedule and stay consistent with that schedule.